Il va sûrement falloir le baisser, je vais mettre à 50% déjà dans... Ah non, c'est déjà fait. C'est bon. Alors... Jeu un serveur riche, aidez-nous à éviter les spoilers. Ah, paramètres. Alors non, j'avais déjà fait un tour dans les paramètres. Mettre grand pour le stream. Avec un petit arrière-plan de sous-titres. Flux cinétique 0, j'avais déjà mis ça à fond, j'avais tout mis à fond, a priori ça devrait aller. Hein. ZQSD, mage, s'accomplir contrôle, il y a les deux, c'est marrant. Interagir peut annuler la narration, guide d'objectif. Bon, quelle heure il est 22h25. Je connais pas du tout le jeu, tout ce que je sais, du coup, c'est ce que Fabrice tu m'as raconté à peu près. Donc, il y a. Pour empêcher un crime dans une ville où si tu fais un crime, il y a tout le monde qui se transforme en statue. C'est tout. Message des développeurs. Ce jeu a été développé. Ouais, d'accord. Ce jeu est une aventure vous incitant à résoudre un mystère ayant plusieurs fins possibles. La force ne vous servira à rien pour réussir, il vous faudra dominer l'art de la conversation et avoir recours à l'exploration. Présent. Je connais ça, c'est le début de Outer Wilds, ça. On va manger des chamallows.
Hey, you're alive. When I dragged you out of the river, I thought you were never gonna wake up. I checked your pockets for ID, a phone, maybe. I hope you don't mind. But all I found was some loose change. So, wanna tell me who you are?
Hop.
Well, it's nice to meet you. And I'm sorry to pry, but any idea why you were floating down the river? What's the last thing you remember?
Fille à justice. Grâce au temps passé. Ah, mais ça vraiment. Archéologue. Des années d'études et l'histoire vous donnent occasionnellement des perspectives sur le monde antique. Ok. Vous avez une arme à feu militaire, mais seulement 10 balles. Vous allez devoir les utiliser à bon escient, car vous ne pourrez pas en obtenir d'autres. Grâce au temps passé à fuir les autorités, vous êtes rapide et allez 25% plus vite lorsque vous courez. Votre récent traumatisme crânien a augmenté votre seuil de tolérance à la douleur, vous rendant 50% plus difficile à vaincre. Comment ça, 50% plus difficile à vaincre? Je crois que là... Je crois que c'est un jeu d'enquête. Il n'y avait pas de bagarre. Attends d'ailleurs. M'aurait-on menti, Fabrice? Oui, bon, ça. En vrai, j'ai envie de prendre la course.
Really? You know what? Don't answer that. I don't think I want to know.
Bon, maintenant que tu sais que je suis un criminel, tu me files le...
Look, you've just been through a trauma, so I'm gonna forget you said that. But you owe me, and I need a favor. There are some ruins just behind you. Roman, I think. I need
J'étais
you to
entre
go
ça
in
et
there and see
l'archéologue.
if you can find a guy named Al for me. He went in there a few hours ago, and he hasn't come out. I've been freaking out, wondering if he's trapped or injured or worse. I would have gone in after him, but he made me promise to stay here, no matter what. There's no way I'm leaving without him. So I'm just kind of stuck here, waiting. I need... What I mean is, I was hoping you wouldn't mind going in there to find him.
Bon, peut-être que je
If you can
bouge...
do
Ouais.
that,
Bon, peut-être que je
I
bouge
can get
la
moving you
caméra.
back to civilization in my boat. Please? Oh, of course. Sorry, I don't mean to be pushy. I just... What do you want to know? Oh, there's not much to tell. Feels like I've spent my whole life in a dead-end job with an endless commute. Know what I mean? Oh, I'd rather not say if it's all the same to you. All right, fine. Sorry if I sounded cagey, it's just that I don't always get the best reactions when I introduce myself. My name's Karen. You're welcome. Always happy to help. Was there anything else you wanted to ask? He's the guy who washed up on the riverbank not long before you did. I thought maybe you two knew each other. But maybe the two of you can piece together what you're doing here. In any case, you'll like him, I'm sure. Once you find... You really don't remember? We're in Italy.
Ah,
This river is the Tiber. Not much, really. But imagine what you might find in there. Priceless ancient artifacts. What am I, an idiot? You could hike a long, long way in any direction. Great. Thank you. The entrance is just past those columns behind you. Please, hurry. Oh, and he left this here. But I
le
think
son
you'll
du jeu
need
est un
it
peu
more than
bas.
I will.
Ouais, je monte ça. On va voir si c'est mieux. Une imposante lampe torche à pied. Merde, c'était clic droit pour... Ok. Oh, c'est... Clic droit, je peux zoomer avec les yeux. C'est genre... Oh, le vieux mur invisible. Juste... Peut-être c'est un peu trop, on va se mettre à 100. 95. Comme dans Grounded. Ah, c'est pas pareil, dans Grounded, c'est... Ok. Non, j'ai l'impression de m'avoir trop réduit, là. J'ai l'impression que là, c'est bien. 100, c'est bien. Un sac. Un sac rempli de vêtements de randonnée utilisés et de sachets de nourriture vide. Il ne contient rien de valeur, mais est tout de même étrange, cale et abandonné. Note dalle. Moi, je peux pas beaucoup... j'ai pas grand chose de plus à faire. Hein. La sensi est bizarre. Je trouve la sensi très bizarre. C'est-à-dire... Non, mais c'est manette, ça, de toute façon. Peut-être mettre... Peut-être juste baisser à 75, par exemple. 74. Voilà. Ah, c'est un peu mieux. Ah, c'est trop peu, en fait. Ah, je suis chiant, hein. Bon.
If you're reading this, it means I've discovered the entrance to an ancient Roman city, hidden deep underground.
Ah! Je marche sous l'eau?
Its existence
Non, je peux
is
nager,
long
d'accord.
forgotten, all knowledge of it lost, except in the Latin inscription here. It reads, "You who wish to enter the city, step forth and be judged. The virtuous shall be rewarded with eternal life in paradise. The wicked shall find themselves showered in gold, but in vain, for this shall be their final resting place." Could an underground city...
Les chiffres par an. J'ai essayé de mettre des chiffres ronds, je te jure. Mais c'est chiant. En vrai, on va remettre... En vrai, c'était bien à 100%, je pense, mais...
have remained a secret for all this time? Could people have survived down there, against the odds? It seems there's only one way to find out. If I'm not back in an hour, I'm somewhere on the other side. Consider this an invitation. Or a warning. Al Worth.
La sauvegarde rapide. Ça va être plus pratique pour tout le monde en fait. C'est pas la sauvegarde rapide. Donc je vais devoir faire échappe, sauvegarder toutes les 5 minutes là. Toutes les 3 minutes. Toutes les 2 minutes. Après il y a plein de statues en or. John Robin prenant une pause plaintive. Allez, ça part dans le rital là. Ah, j'avais pas fait gaffe, la petite bougie qui te force à... Si t'éteins la lumière, du coup, tu vois la... Elle en priorité, après le couloir, quoi. Un gladiateur romain marchant en grand pas, qu'est-ce qui a pu faire fuir un gladiateur? Bon, je sais que basiquement, si quelqu'un commet un crime, tout le monde finit en or, mais c'est un peu tout ce que je connais du jeu. Il va encore parler de game design. Garde la lignée de torche qui t'indique la suite du chemin. Tu vois. Mais rien ne t'empêche de prendre la lampe et de regarder. Ça, je les sauvegarde tout seul régulièrement de ce que je vois. Pardon. Elle me regardait pas il y a 2 secondes. Hein. Ah, j'aime pas. Ah, j'aime pas. Ah, j'aime pas du tout. C'est le genre de choses qui, moi, me mettent particulièrement pas à l'aise. Ah si, il y a. Ah, je peux faire F9. Ok. T'arrêtes. Tu vas voir que ça va être... mais c'est inoffensif jusqu'au moment où il y en a une qui va me sauter à la gorge, là. Commandant militaire romain qui essaie de fuir précipitamment quelque chose. Bah là, il est tombé surtout. Un légionnaire romain terrifié. Je t'ai entendu. Arrêtez. Je vous entends bouger la tête. C'est le pont du Gard. Petit aqueduc là. Oh, le mur invisible, 0 sur 20. Hein. Pas immersif comme jeu. Hein. T'es le casse-couille. Une femme romaine qui semble prier pour recevoir une aide qui n'arrivera jamais. Comment elle tient la corde là?
To whoever reads this, I'm sorry you had to find me like this. And worse, she'll suffer the same fate I did.
Ah bah oui, il est pas bien en romain lui.
I've spent a lifetime in this place, going around and around in circles, searching for a way out. The inscription was right. There is no way back. And here there are only 2 options. Death or that godforsaken doorway into the past. I made the mistake of stepping through it. I wanted to set things right. And I tried. I really tried. Whatever I did, it took me right back to the beginning. Don't make the same mistake. Better to end it all now. And find out what awaits you beyond that portal.
La corde, elle est en or ou... Non, la corde, c'est de la corde, juste. Statue dorée d'un vieil homme aux vêtements modernes. Il doit s'agir d'Al. Mais comment est-ce possible? Aïe, le feu! Mais ça va pas, le feu? Il m'a fait mal. On n'est pas dans Call of Duty, il y a une bonne respiration, ça ne nous soigne pas. Hein. Une jeune femme romaine en pleine panique. Pas donner des coups de poing. Ah oui. Mais moi je vois un truc comme ça, je rentre pas. Hein. Un Romain à genoux comme s'il implorait la pitié des dieux. La pitié. C'est la pitié mes dieux. Mes deux pitiés. Ouais bah non, on va remonter en haut. On trouve un moyen, on escalade le gros trou. Et on dit à l'autre, non mais il est mort. Il est tombé, il s'est cassé la... Il s'est cassé la nuque. Il dépouille humaine, cet individu est mort il y a bien longtemps. C'est nous. Spoiler alerte. Un brick est vide, c'est ce dont Al a dû se servir pour allumer toutes ses torches. Bon, ramasse-le, ça peut servir, non? Même s'il est vide, tu peux trouver de l'huile. C'est Star Wars dans l'hyperespace. Oh. Bah du coup là c'est les yeux allaient bien aussi hein. J'ai peut-être pas mis le jeu sur le SSD en me disant TKT y a pas de problème ça ira. Un relief romain représentant un grand portail circulaire et deux femmes. Je me demande qui elles peuvent être. Ah c'est pas la même hein. Trouvez un moyen de retourner à votre époque. Bonjour.
Salve, friend. I'm Galerius. Mind telling me who you are and what you were doing in the Shrine of Proserpina?
Ouais, c'est surtout ça moi qui me choquait, c'est
What? I'm speaking Latin. You are too, although your accent's a little strange. Oh, I see what you did there. Changing the subject like that. Nice try. But I'll ask again. Who are you, and what were you doing in the shrine?
Je viens du futur.
Yeah, you know, agricultural goddess.
J'ai envie de faire ça même si je vais finir sur un bûcher.
You're not from around here, are you? And you've just done it again. You're a sly one, aren't you? One more time. Who are you, and what were you doing in that shrine? No idea what you're talking about. Oh, wait. Are you a bit, you know, not right in the head? That's all right, friend. Everyone's welcome here. We sort of lose track of the date down here, but it feels like the beginning of spring to me, so I'd say early March? It's 817 AUC. Sorry, you look confused. 817 years since the founding of Rome. Which part of the empire are you from, exactly?
Ça. Je vais continuer là-dedans.
Not so loud. Just saying that name could land you in trouble here. If you haven't heard, his cultists burned down half of Rome last year. Horrible business. I heard Nero executed some of them, but a lot of people are still angry with them, even down here. So, if you're one of them, keep it to yourself.
Ouais, ça part mal.
But listen, most folks seem a bit confused when they get here, but You seem very lost, and in more ways than one. So let me make this nice and simple for you. Live by our law here, and we'll all get along just fine. Not laws, law. There's just one, the Golden Rule, and the punishment for breaking it's... well, it's kind of horrific. But our magistrate insists we take all newcomers to see him, so I guess I'll let him fill you in. So then, are you coming? Follow me. When I first arrived, I couldn't believe...
Attends. Je cache quelques trucs. Se pète là.
There were people living down here. But, as you can see, we've got a nice little community now.
Oh, joli, hein?
Only 23 of us at the moment, if you count the 3 who are missing. No idea how, since nobody knows a way out. But it's just big and dark enough to get lost in, if you're not careful.
Aren't you going to introduce me to your handsome new friend, Galerius?
Keep it in your loincloth, Aurelia. I'm taking him to see the magistrate.
That pompous old bore won't be magistrate for much longer. Anyone who helps vote him out today drinks at my bar for free tonight.
Politics. I'd stay clear of it and her if I were you. She's... it's not my place to say. Down on your right is our farm, where I grow all the food you'll ever want. As long as all you want is leek, cabbage, and wheat. Ah, that one usually gets a chuckle.
The bloodless shadows wander without flesh or bone.
Ah, don't mind Livia. She means well. She's just been in a bad place since... well, you know, I don't know what happened to her. Up here on your right is the chasm. If you've got a weapon, it belongs way down at the bottom. Up on your left is the forum, where you can visit the market or get yourself patched up in Lucretia's clinic in the Shrine of Apollo. Most of us have almost nothing, just what we had on us when we arrived, and what we've been able to make and scrounge up since. And this central plateau is where the magistrate and the other patricians live, so don't expect a warm welcome.
Galerius, you're meant to be working the farm, not
Ah ouais,
just being
sérieux?
dragged into the villas.
Take it easy, Horatius. I was just taking our new friend here to see the magistrate.
Well, he's asked me to escort the newcomer personally. The farm. Go. Now.
You'd better go with him.
D'accord.
But just remember, they're not like you and me. Don't let them use you.
What was that? What did you just say?
I said it'll take some getting used to.
Yeah, I'm watching you, farm boy. Greetings, citizen. My name's Horatius. Magistrate Sentius asked me to escort you to him personally. Follow me, please. I expect the magistrate wants to brief you about the Golden Rule. It shouldn't take too long. He's busy preparing for the election later today. Follow me. The only thing you really need to understand right now is the Golden Rule.
Oh!
Let me see if I can explain it this way. When I was serving in the Legion, if there was a mutiny brewing in one cohort, the legate in charge wouldn't waste time finding the bad apples among hundreds. They just divided us into groups of 10, made us draw straws, and whoever drew the short straw had to be executed by the other 9. Didn't matter whether he'd done anything wrong. One of us in 10 would die for the crimes of the collective.
Ugh, this place has become a thoroughfare.
We call it decimation. If that seems like rough justice to you, you're in for a rude shock. Because the Golden Rule is exactly 10 times worse. The magistrate can explain the rest. He's up these stairs.
Rien de plus à me dire? Si, il y a des trucs en plus à me dire.
What now?
Oh putain.
I'm a legionary of the 1st Italica, but there's not a lot of fighting down here. I act as the magistrate's right-hand man, keeping an eye on his daughters. I also keep a I'm from Liguria, up north originally. I was doing alright for myself. 12 years into it, not anymore. She's probably figured I'm long gone and moved on. My commander sent me to deliver a message to Rome. While I was there, I thought I'd do something nice for my girl. And pick up a... That's when the crowd started flooding through the streets. Then some Genetricum Fugitor tried to take advantage of the chaos and pinch my pendant. I remember chasing him through the crowds, down towards the river. And then, nothing. Blacked out and woke up near here. No idea how I ended up floating. Ah, don't be. As Seneca the Younger said, difficulty strengthens the mind, as labor does. That said, Centilla's disappearance has been more difficult. He's one of the better commanders I've ever had, that's for sure. Good stoic. Lives by Seneca's words. Treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you. Can't ask for much more than that. I went around asking the same questions when I first arrived. Never to bear trials with a calm mind robs misfortune of its strength and burden. I don't see why not. Just make sure I get it back by tomorrow.
Hein? Bah, de nous. Alors attends, oula, registre des citoyens. Un registre comportant les noms de chaque habitant de la cité, classé dans l'ordre alphabétique. Oh punaise. Oh là là. Ah non, bah...
Of course.
D'accord.
Well, as I always say, by threatening to execute 1 in 10 men, the idea is to ensure order. If you knew you could be executed because your brother in arms is planning a mutiny, because your only chance of saving yourself is to stop bad things before they happen. It's brutal, of course, but effective. Legion wouldn't be them. A war crime. Isn't that a contradiction in terms? As Cicero said, seems that way. What's done is done. I was forced to execute my brothers in arms, and those memories will always visit me. As with the Golden Rule, I don't have any control over it. So railing against it would be like trying to stop the seasons or the tides. As Seneca the Younger wrote, true happiness is to enjoy the present, but to rest satisfied. If you like,
Le mec avant de commencer un crime de guerre, c'est quoi le principe?
not that it's any of your business, but my loyalty is and always will. Unfortunately, I don't think my vote. See, Domitius has been going around town, shoring up votes for Malik. The man's a savage. But is it? Sentius knows about it, of course. This place will be different with that sleaze at the helm. I appreciate the thought, but you're new here, and I just can't. In any case, if you're interested in the election, go on.
Ok.
All right.
Alors, je vais faire juste une petite pause et je dans 2 minutes. Et j'adore le mec en mode comment ça crime de guerre, ça sert à quoi? C'est quoi ce concept? Oui, après par contre, du coup, dans ce genre de discussion, je lis et je skip, hein. J'espère que ça gêne pas trop. C'est juste que bah j'ai pas envie de passer 40 minutes à faire une discussion qui aurait pu m'en prendre 5, quoi. Surtout qu'en plus c'est même pas en français, donc bon, on s'en fout un peu de l'intonation des pignoufs derrière, quoi, après. Bref, je dans 2 petites minutes. Voilà. Alors, Alt tab, clac, clac. Bon, du coup, allons voir. Attends, d'abord, avant d'aller voir le magistrat.
Ugh, this place has become a thoroughfare. Ugh, I wish her. I'm Sentia, eldest daughter of the magistrate. But you'd know that if you'd been invited in here. What are you doing in here? And why? Really? I'd never have noticed, what with your flawless accent, appropriate attire, and Now, remind me, why are we... Ugh, what is it with you people? You heard the rumor that my little sister escaped and figure I must know a way out. Well, that's just a stupid rumor. We have no idea what happened to... I don't know. Can you? Can you tell me how a person could have disappeared from a city with no exit? It was 3 weeks ago. We ate our evening meal together, and I remember she seemed happy. In love. We went into our rooms. I went to sleep. I think so, yes. Because our father had plans to marry her off. I don't know, but it's been 3 weeks. All I know is, whoever he is, he's still here. You really aren't from here, are you? All Roman women are named after their fathers. I think it's their way of branding us. His family name is Sentius, so I'm Sentia because I'm the eldest. And my little sister is formerly Sentia Minor, but she is affectionately known as... Why? Because I'm on this couch and not pacing about the villa, wasting energy. I hope you're not insinuating I'm some...
Oh.
Ugh, you're awful. Get out of my villa.
Ouf. La petite accusation. Je t'ai entendu tourner la tête, toi. Sentia exprime sa gratitude à Sentius pour l'avoir adopté. J'avoue l'idée, mais je vous remercie d'avoir fait de moi votre fille et pour cet adorable pendentif que vous m'avez offert pour mon anniversaire. Je promets de le porter à chaque instant. Je me sens si chanceuse de vous avoir comme père et d'avoir Sentia comme sœur. Je suppose que l'élection du mois prochain vous rend nerveux. Et si vous venez à leur montrer l'homme fort et droit que vous êtes, vous serez élu, j'en suis certaine. Ah. Ah. C'est écrit en français sur le caillou. Aurélia, classe roturière, opération, occupation tavernière, lieu de vie taverne dans les bas quartiers, présent connaître une issue. Oh, le rouleau, il roule. Ah ouais. Mode lecture? Attends. Ah. D'accord. Petit sanctuaire domestique où les habitants de la Rome antique priaient quotidiennement pour être protégés. Enfin, l'Arère. Ouais, ça va, de toute façon, on va voyager dans le temps et tout, on fait des trucs. Si elle est pas contente, prochaine boucle, elle aura tout oublié.
We're finally alone. I assume you already know who I am. A curious name to match a curious accent. But I digress. Something about your demeanor gives me the urge to caution you against doing anything, shall we say, unlawful. Now, you're probably wondering why I summoned you, and I'll get to that. A secret city built deep in the mountains, many hundreds of years ago. Indeed. More importantly, consider the miraculous community we've 22 complete strangers brought together by the fates, and in all that time, not a single sin has been committed. No fight. Nor could I, until I came here. But the reason for this
miracle is as simple as it is terrifying. If even one person commits a sin here, every last one of us will die. You see, the builders of this place, whoever they were, left inscriptions, from what we can gather, breaking the and provoke a terrible punishment. Like the curses of Medusa and Midas. It's extraordinary that we've survived as long as we have. All that matters is that somebody in this city is about to break the Golden Rule. Why else would Proserpina send you now? Unless you and I can... I know that's a lot to take in, and you look like...
Oh putain.
an
Qu'est-ce qu'il fait
intelligent
déjà, ouais.
question. There was a good deal of debate about that in our first weeks here. Does it refer to crimes, or to some other ill-defined wrong? Of course, everyone agrees on the basics. No theft, no assault, and... But beyond that, it was more difficult to reach a consensus. What about lying, insulting someone, blasphemy, trespass? As magistrate, I had to exercise leadership, and so I made a decision. We must honor the peace of the gods, the sacred accord between the gods and the people of Rome. It is only by offering the gods the proper respect that...
Allez, on parle là-dessus.
Barbaric? What are you talking about? The Empire is the most civilizing force in the known world. Rome is a beacon of light in the darkness. For 800 years she has borne great statesmen, philosophers, poets, artists, and we have comprehensive laws protecting the rights of our citizens, which have unified countless... All our citizens are treated the same, regardless of the color. When our people are starving, they are given food
petite phrase là.
rations, and when they are wronged, they have the right to bring the guilty party before the magistrate. Our laws forbid treason, murder, assault,
On a mes amis sur
as
des
well as
barbares.
theft and arson, and so on. No other civilization in the world is so advanced.
Ah.
Of course, but with fewer rights come fewer responsibilities, and the right to be protected by their father. You mean the blasphemous cult responsible for burning down? Are you talking about our practice of decimation? Of course. We could hide on occasion, but our gladiators are almost all volunteers seeking glory. Of course. What else would we do with those prisoners of war who would otherwise have been executed? Well, right now, you're a long, long way from home. I have made my pronouncement on this. Unfortunately, there are still those here who resist, whispering blasphemy. I would be keeping a close...
Vraiment le random qui arrive et qui commence à cracher sur toutes les toute la culture, tu sais.
You see, in my search for a way to save my people, it said to open a doorway in time so that if the unthinkable happened... And when I saw you arrive in a flash of light from the goddess's shrine... 2,000 years? Please, tell me, in your time, what did you see? What had become of us?
Ouh.
Of this city? All I can tell you is that it's a ritual sacrifice to preserve. I have to recite a prayer, and of course, as with all rituals, some sacrifice. In this case, the sacrifice is rather... I don't suppose you saw any sign of me in the future?
Alors, et voilà. Si.
I assume that was me. If I'm forced to perform the ritual, it's
On a
going to
tout lui
cost me
balancer là.
everything. You'll... Well, I believe you're in the best position to go around asking people questions. As for me, well, It pains me to say my attempts to impose order have not earned me many friends. The people here would only treat my curiosity with suspicion.
Je comprends que vous y preniez très mal. TKT, c'est très bien parti. Ces questions seront disponibles plus tard. Ouais, bah on s'en fout, en fait.
Stare at a problem for so long that you can't. What's needed here is a fresh pair of eyes. The less I prejudice the independence of your.
Je fais le canard en plastique. Ouf.
Me? Why would you suspect me? What reason could you? I'm glad you think so. Without trust. Ah, so you know about that already. It's a devastating loss, of course, but that was over 3 weeks ago, and whatever happened to her, it didn't break. Still, if you happen to find her... Well, all right. There are those who wish to vote. Frankly, their selfishness and recklessness risk destabilizing.
Ok.
You mean you couldn't speak Latin before you arrived here? But the gods are active here. And that perhaps when Proserpina brought you here, she planted the seed of Latin. Indeed. If I understand Proserpina's ritual correctly, that problem should take care of. If you manage to prevent the sin that breaks the golden rule, I won't need to bring you here. I won't create the portal, and you will never have been able to come here.
Laisse-moi t'expliquer. Ceci est un paradoxe. Ah, c'est ça. Bien sûr, bah oui, bien sûr, pourquoi pas. J'ai pas d'autres questions.
So, are you with me? Can I count on you to figure it? Wonderful. Now, I need you to investigate the city. Talk to everyone. I authorize you to enter private homes
Oui,
and
d'accord.
inspect possessions and documents, unless, of course, you're asked to leave. Figure out who the culprit is, and as soon as you have a name, come back and tell me in... Oh, I heard
merde.
wailing from there not long ago. Seems like something's not right.
Je skippe une conversation. Attends, reviens ici toi.
Ah, you've returned. Do you have any... Of course.
Non, peut-être pas.
It looks like...
Ouais, allez, si on y va. Let's go.
It looks like you'll have to continue your...
Ouais,
Of course. Are you sure you...
D'accord, ouais. Bon, allez, on se casse. Ah, la lumière magique. Ouais, par contre, je connais... J'ai pas la carte, hein. Tu veux me parler, toi, ou tu bootes, du coup?
Do I need to ask Horatius to escort?
Sanctuaire d'Apollon, c'est là-bas. Une statue. Ah, elle me tourne pas la tête, celle-là. Gotta go faster. Oh, oh. Tout pourri ton miroir. Journal de Sentia. Estime que tout le monde a droit à ses secrets. Je ne saurais pas m'occuper le temps à faire face à la disparition soudaine et bouleversante de ma sœur. En tant que fille obéissante, je vais m'exécuter. Les pages qui suivent renferment mes secrets les plus intimes. Je sais que vous me disiez, père, ma jeunesse n'est pas synonyme de crédulité. Tout le monde a le droit à ses secrets. Pot de maquillage. Ah, il y a peut-être des trucs à il y aura peut-être des trucs à découvrir sur des objets comme ça. Une fiole. Genre typiquement enlever le bouchon. J'en demande peut-être trop au jeu là. Un buste. Sculpture d'Arès, dieu de la guerre grec connu sous le nom de Mars par les Romains. Allez, les copiteurs quoi. On va peut-être pas voler quelque chose, sinon c'est la fin. Pot de maquillage. On va peut-être pas examiner tous les pots de maquillage de la ville. Hein. Ah mais attends, mais là c'est la chambre de la petite sœur du coup. Sentia a écrit qu'elle a décidé de s'échapper. Sentia, Sentus et Sentia. Puissiez-vous trouver la clémence de me pardonner. Je suis désolé de devoir vous abandonner ainsi, mais j'ai trouvé un moyen de m'échapper et j'ai décidé d'en profiter. J'espère vous revoir un jour. Ah, un pot d'encre. C'est le petit pot avec lequel elle a écrit sa petite lettre. Une fiole. Une autre fiole. Ok, ça c'est la chambre du père. Ah non, c'est pas la chambre du père ça. Bah non, elle est en haut, je suis bête. Cuisiner avec une si mauvaise ventilation est sans doute désagréable, mais les Romains voyaient peut-être cela comme le problème de leurs serviteurs. Ces carottes sont violettes, comme elles l'étaient avant que les carottes oranges modernes soient cultivées. Ça existe toujours les carottes violettes. Il est con, lui.
Citizen.
Peut-être qu'il n'y en a pas chez les US, là. Ils sont en mode, oh là là, des carottes violettes! C'est fou! Hein? Ah! Ouais, c'est bon, c'est bon. Sale bête. Ah. Ah ah! Salut. Ah, mais je t'ai vu, toi, courir vers là-bas. Comme les bananes rouges. Oh, le gros muscu. Discussion suspecte. Mais qu'est-ce que t'as, toi, frérot? Miroir, miroir.
We've lined up all the votes we need already. Mark my words, Malleolus is going to be magistrate by the end of the day. And if you've been trying to undermine his hard-won victory... Oh, you just made a big mistake. Malleolus is going to hear all about... Sturcomedy.
Tu vas me taper?
Orsinculio.
Il veut plus me parler.
Orsin.
Il veut plus me parler. Ah! D'accord. Ah ouais, c'est... tous les politiques sont corrompus! Ah, ça a pas... Ça a pas changé, hein.
You're not thinking about going into the cistern, are you?
Je sais pas, moi.
Nobody's told you about Hannibal? Ugh. What? So, there was this guy called Hannibal, right? Funny accent. You should... One day, a few weeks back, he said he could hear spirits wailing. Of course, nobody but... Anyway, a few days
Personne ne fait
later,
confiance
he
au
goes back
Carthaginois au calme.
in, and hours go by, and he hasn't come back out. So I go down after him, and it's dark. And hunched over him was something that made my blood run. A creature. Like the corpse of a man. If it was a man, maybe. But I swear on my... More like a Strix. Or some Versipelus that feeds on human flesh. What any sane person would have done. I legged it out of there and put a sign at the door. Without a...
Je suis chez qui, là? Là, c'est... Allez, je t'ai niqué le flot de toute ta statue. Oui, je t'entends. Ah, il y a une petite saccade quand même, hein. Indication vers un sanctuaire secret pénétré dans les grottes derrière le théâtre, puis tourner à droite au premier embranchement ainsi qu'au second. Un ami anonyme d'Octavia, que le Seigneur vous garde et vous bénisse. Je regrette de ne pas avoir pu prendre le risque de parler de tout ceci avec vous en personne. Mais si j'ai raison, alors vous êtes une croyante comme moi. Vous ne pouvez peut-être pas pratiquer ouvertement votre religion ici, mais sachez que vous n'êtes pas seul. Oh! Si vous avez un jour besoin d'un endroit où prier, un lieu spécial vous attend au fond des grottes derrière le théâtre. Tournez à droite au premier embranchement, puis à nouveau au deuxième. La cuisine. Merde!
The many shall...
J'ai fait E sans lire. J'ai fait E sans lire.
Suffer for the sins of the One.
Ah. Ah, les statues, elles s'animent. Bon bah ouais, super, hein. Allez. Attends, je vais traduire ça du coup. Tu ne voleras point, tu ne blesseras autrui, tu ne... De toute évidence, l'auteur n'a pas eu le temps de terminer. Mais quelle idée de laisser traîner de l'or comme ça aussi. Et de dire que c'est un crime si tu fais E à côté, là, sans lire. Ah oui, d'accord, ouais, tu meurs très rapidement. Et on voit la transformation se passer ou... On voit genre une vague d'énergie ou il se passe quelque chose? Ah? Ouais, d'accord, il y a des archers qui te tirent dessus. J'imaginais une espèce de truc comme ça là qui se répand et qui... genre qui part du centre-ville ou je sais pas quoi. Et qui transforme tout le monde en statue, quoi. Ah, utiliser la boucle temporelle une fois. J'imagine tout le monde m'a oublié, hein.
Salva.
On l'a vu sur le go muscu. Ah.
Yes, how much did I drink last night? Oh, and since you seem to be in a hurry, you should try out this device I made. Just attach the pulley to the rope over the lake and hang on to the handles. If it works, and if it doesn't work, worst thing that can happen is you'll take a swim in the lake. I haven't quite summoned, but don't worry, it's complete. All right.
Bonjour.
A new face, Ave, and may Vesta watch over you. Oh my. I take it people are quite... I suppose it's quite... Usually, however, you wouldn't simply march up to a Vestal priestess and without due formality... The proper approach would be to arrange an introduction through a mutual acquaintance in high office. And then
Ouais, sont chiants, les
you'd find
gens.
a way to satisfy your curiosity. But to be honest, I've often thought what an unnecessarily form... Let's do it your way. You just keep being yourself.
Qu'est-ce qu'il y a mon cœur? J'arrive.
You know, I'm not entirely sure. Karen, you say? And nothing... Why is that? The memes? What are the memes? So, a bit like Egyptian hieroglyphs then? So your people make hieroglyphics depicting this accursed... I apologize. I don't... Have you spoken with any of the others? I really think you should. Go around and ask them. I know, I just don't want to see... Up until a few weeks ago, she was a perfectly productive member of our little community. She was always so chatty, always seeking out... And then, about she withdrew, stopped working and became despondent, but she just looked at us with this haunted stare. Look, it could be unrelated. Perhaps she simply fell ill. Or, but there is a small chance that she learned something. I just don't want to see...
D'accord.
Thank you. Now, go and follow... I don't, I'm afraid. It seems to me we're exiled here until the gods judge... I'm quite sure it's the work of the gods, which is strange because they've never been particular... We asked for blessings, for good health, bountiful harvest, military victory, and in return, we offer praise, wine, But here, it seems I find myself reminded of an especially pertinent tale from our great... Would you like to hear? I suppose so. Jupiter and Mercury put a town to the test. Everyone turned them away and failed that test, except for an old couple. And then, some say the moral of that story is that we must all honor the sacred rituals of guest. But I like to think it's that we should always show compassion. A cynic philosopher might take that view, but it's not. It must be completed by dusk. It'll be between Sentius, the incumbent, and Malia. Why do you ask? I'm responsible for announcing it and making sure the... You can assume all of the male citizens who are willing and able to attend, unless they're running, of course. Well, you're not a citizen, but if it's any consolation, there are... by using whatever gifts the gods gave you. As I said, I'm planning to hold it before dusk. As you wish. Sir. And did you know... Oh, keep asking, Livy.
Voilà. Je reviens du coup. Hop, hop. Bon, désolé. Me revoilà. Je sais pas si t'es toujours là. Du coup, on a parlé avec elle. Retournons voir d'abord.
Here is proof of it. What is it, citizen? All right.
D'accord, il te fait pas le speech à chaque fois, sinon ce serait chiant. Lui.
We're finally alone. We have? Wait, if I understand, I must have entrusted you with figuring out. Is that a... Ah, look, it's unfortunate. But now, I assume... Thank
Whatever. Ugh, I wish Horatius. You know, some people say it's the but what kind of an awful, incompetent god would?
J'avais pas réussi à empêcher,
I'd
zut.
say it to their faces if they had the courage to show them. Did you hear that? Curse you! What do you have to say? No response. I'm telling you. This mysterious god of ours has to be asleep. Either that, or, like people are saying, it really is just a children's fable my father is Oh, and I suppose I'll just have to take the word of a know-nothing but... Ugh.
Attends, ça on va refaire.
That doesn't surprise me. To him, it was like a prize cow. He's upset, of course. But he says he's too busy with the election to help look for her. What? If you must know, I'm here because I couldn't bear to lose you too, he says. As if he... So you'll... Oh, you should probably take a look through her room. It's the one just by the front door. Maybe you'll find something the rest of us missed.
Ouais.
What? Really? I swear,
Bah, t'as pas beaucoup fouillé parce que t'es sous l'oreiller. Hein.
And never saw that. I wonder how I could have missed it. Strange, but it's odd. It was only a few months ago that Sentine's
Ah, Julia, c'est
she
la...
was planning an escape of her own.
La coiffeuse qui a pété un
And
plomb.
yet, Julia, you should go and speak with her. Find out if she knows.
Ah. J'ai envie d'aller voir, de faire ça. Dans la villa voisine, c'est à côté là. Évitons de ramasser une bourse d'or qui traîne au milieu de nulle part.
Horatius, how's it feel knowing your man's doomed to lose the election today? The old man couldn't even keep his own quarters. How can anyone trust him to keep us safe, eh?
Ouais, ils vont me refaire chier pour ça. Bon, ça on n'avait pas check cette pièce vraiment. J'avais fait juste un petit... Il y a le pot d'encre, mais voilà, super. Non, pas de rouleau à lire. Il y avait un coffre ici. On va peut-être pas voler les sous. Ah, toi. Ah, mais c'est Jacqueline.
Harvey again. Come.
On ne touche pas à ça. Une sculpture de Minerve, la déesse romaine de la stratégie. Hop. Et on pose le buste de Athéna. Oh là là, oh. Oh là là, une problématique. Bref, c'était... ça. Le hurlement d'agonie. Alors du coup, la villa d'à côté, si ça c'est eux. Ça serait la villa d'à côté, mais c'est fermé. Ah ouais, mais c'est grand en fait. C'est verrouillé. C'est éteint. Moi je viens de là-bas. Tiens, on va voir, attends, on va voir d'abord ce qu'il y a là-bas. Hein?
Help! You have to do... A man arrived in the baths.
Real nasty. You have to do something, or he's gonna break the golden rule. None of us do. The magistrate made us throw them all into the chasm. You'll just have to... Thank you. I have to hide. Find me in... Hear what? What? Ugh. The shrine is collapsing!
Ah ouais. Attention, le sanctuaire peut s'écrouler à tout moment.
Fabia, no! Oh gods, she's dead! Did anyone see that? The whole shrine just collapsed on her! Oh, Fabia, why did you have to go in there? Poor sweet girl.
Bonjour.
I can't believe she is dead. Fabia, I mean. She walked into that... The gods are cruel and unjust. She was like a daughter to me.
Mais t'es qui?
I can't believe she... The gods...
Ok. Il y a une random qui m'a dit attention, il y a un mec avec un arc. Elle est partie en courant, elle est morte. Ok. Désolé madame. Un pot de maquillage. On va voir Michel avec l'arc là. Wesh frérot.
Stop right there. I'm looking for Tiberius Quinctius Crispus, otherwise known as Quinctius. Do you know where he is?
Jamais entendu parler.
I'm not sure I believe that. I am here with orders from Emperor Nero himself to find and execute. So, if you tell me the truth, I will allow you to live. But if you lie to me, or is that understood? You are not off to a good start. When I would choose my next words more... Thank you. Now tell me, who... Oh, how very welcoming of you. You want me to let my... I was told Quinctius was a cultist, but I never thought he'd be foolish enough to lead me right... You say that, but if you're not a cult, then why go to such great lengths to keep the... So you admit you're not allowed to leave. Threatening me is not going to help you, but in any case, that sounds an awful lot like a cult. And I saw the inscription saying, the many shall suffer for the sins of the one. You've clearly been indoctrinated. Now tell me, where did you... You lot are practicing human sac...
Pas de bonne réponse en fait, c'est marrant.
Yes, yes, because it's all clear to me now. The secret sanctuary, what baffles me is how a person can believe in... However, you still have a chance to redeem... Very well. Here's what I know. He's a 40 to 50-year-old man with distinctive eyes. The Emperor says he and his cult, your cult, are responsible for starting the fire which burnt half of Rome to the ground. All I know, all I care about, is that the Emperor believes he is guilty. This is your last Do you have any last words? And there's a simple explanation for... But if you want to know that once I'm done with you and Quinctius, and I can think of
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Ah, c'est les flèches qui les... Ah, c'est ça. Hop! Ben, on se casse, hein. Oh, lui, il veut se boxer, lui. Aïe! On va peut-être y aller, hein. Quand je le regarde... Ah là, lui, il se transformait en or. Bonjour, madame la statue. Au revoir, hein. Bonjour. Je vais accrocher la tyrolienne pour aller dans l'autre sens. Tyrolienne à moteur. Oh! Statue. Aïe! Elle a mis la première flèche. Ah bah, au revoir. Ah, y a pas d'objet. Mais attends. Est-ce que tu peux déclencher l'apocalypse pour ramasser un item que t'as pas le droit de ramasser, pour ensuite l'avoir dans ton inventaire dans le passé, et donc ne pas provoquer le problème... Enfin, donc... Ah merde, je suis blessé. Ah mais la vie remonte. Tu vois ce que je veux dire? Big brain, big brain. Oh non, toi ta gueule. Hein. Allez, à plus. Visitons, visitons. C'est pas écrit voler, donc j'ai pu la ramasser. Bon. Bon, me voilà bien. Ouais, c'est bien. Quelle heure il est? 23h38, ok. Je fais un peu n'importe quoi, hein, mais c'est parce que je fais un premier tour, pataugeac, comment. Je fais un premier tour, on va dire, général de toute la ville, quoi.
Salve, friend. I'm Octavia. Welcome to life under the Golden Rule. It's a ghastly thing, isn't it? Ah, another stoic, perhaps. We've all been where you are now. I used to lay awake at night, contemplating the big questions. I still don't have any of the answers, I'm afraid. I don't think anybody does. Here, in this place, the magistrate has me earning my keep by cleaning and pruning. I used to live in a lovely villa on the banks of the Tiber. I was even betrothed to a but long hours of menial labor for the good of the community. Oh, much the same way as many of the others. When the fires came to Rome, 7 months ago, we were among the fortunate ones with enough coins for passage, but unfortunately, there were a lot of... A scuffle broke out, and I was pushed overboard. I woke up by the river, near that shrine, and stumbled across... Oh, that's all right. Oh yes, of course. Slip of the tongue.
Oops!
If you like. Please keep that to yourself. I know you're not from around. There was a terrible fire in Rome last year, and our emperor decided to make us... Oh, thank you. The many... I'd like to think that if we all love our neighbours as ourselves, and do to them as we'd have them do to us, then we'll all be... But on the other hand, I was always taught the intent of man's heart is evil, and that's where I get stuck. Is it true? You don't think that's a little naive? I suppose you've never seen what I've seen. Innocent men and women, torn apart in a I wish I should. I'm afraid not. Although, I did once hear... I don't put a lot of stock in such rumors, but if you're desperate and wealthy, you could... If that doesn't work, then I suppose we're all stuck here until... I hope it... All right.
Okay.
I can't believe this is how it ends.
Oh no. No. No, 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 no.
Il va sauter?
Ulpius, what are you doing? Get back from there.
That's the idea.
What? What?
Why do you think I'm stuck for the rest of my...
I know things are hard for you right now. They're hard. Please just think this through. If you do this, it could be the sin that seals all of our fates. Is that what you want?
I'm sorry, but I just don't care.
Please, Ulpius, help him. If he goes through with it, it could be the end for us all. I don't know what to do. I've never had to do... I don't know, but it's a crime for slaves to take their own lives. And a debt bondsman isn't far off.
En vrai, je sens que la pro... Ok.
Let me guess.
Je sens que pour l'instant, on va pas arrêter de faire des morts en boucle au début pour essayer le temps de découvrir un petit peu toutes les situations et petit à petit, on va tout démêler et il y en aura de moins en moins. Je vais vous demander ce qui va pas.
Screwed up my life. That's what's wrong. I borrowed money and when I couldn't, I'll be stuck slaving away for that Culus Cumulatis Malleolus for the rest of my life. I'm out. Wherever you are, Scintilla, my love. I'm sorry.
Ulpius, no! I can't believe he went through with it. That was not your fault. There's no way you could have given him what he wanted. Well, I suppose it means suicide isn't a sin under the Golden Rule. I'll have to let everyone know what happened. And I guess Malleolus will have to clean up the mess in his village. And I'd best pray for poor Ulpius.
Ok. Petit murmure qui te dit sauter là. Ah ouais! Pas dégueu la villa, hein. Il y a de l'eau? Non, c'est pas de l'eau, c'est une vision qui fait ça. Oh si, il y a de l'eau, il y a des bains. Bon, ça va peut-être pas me... Suivez-le. Ah! J'ai des voix dans ma tête qui me disent de sauter. L'air noir invisible. Ah, non, ok. D'accord. C'est verrouillé. J'ai le droit de prendre des sous ici, d'accord. Une fois qu'on s'y est habitué, ça va. Mais au début, ça surprend les têtes qui se tournent, là. Je vais m'enfermer, n'essayez pas de me suivre, il en résultera rien de bon. Merde, c'était qui a signé cette lettre? Naevia. Je connais pas encore Naevia. Ah, je suis bloqué par ce petit rebord de merde là. Ok. Ok. Et pas de cordes qui descendent dans celle là-bas. Hein. Il y a des caisses. J'ai une question. Le temps, il se déroule tout seul? Ah, les latrines. Il y en a un qui est mort en faisant caca. Théophilus s'est livré à une orgie avec 4 femmes ici et les a toutes déçues. Ah! Ne me regarde pas quand tu fais caca, s'il te plaît. Toujours se souvenir qu'elle nous observe. Petit bâton au bout duquel une éponge est attachée. Ça devrait être ce qu'utilisaient les Romains à la place du papier toilette. Son usage était collectif. Vaut mieux le remettre à sa place. C'est quoi le succès que j'ai eu là? Ah, ramasser le bâton à caca. Pêcheur! Peccator! Virgile. Bonjour Virgile.
Ah, a new face. Salve, and welcome to a little community. My name's impossible to pronounce for most people, so you can just call me Virgil. Well, I'm an architect. Or at least I was back help out with repairs and try to stop old buildings from collapse. But you probably don't want to hear about the ingenious. Gladly. Personally, my favorite thing about they're an ingenious feat of Roman engineering. With a very... It's funneled below the palace and into a cistern beneath the great temple. Some of it flows down into another, and the rest is funneled to the shrine of Proserpina, where it fills the lake. Hey, not so loud. Just talking about that could... I'm not saying it's impossible, but you'd have to find a way inside. Oh, I'm glad you asked. Some of these shrines, they're constructed hundreds of years ago, which means... Oh, but there's one thing that puzzles me. The oldest shrine in this avenue isn't Roman at all. It's Greek. Well, yes, that could be the reason.
J'aime voir s'il me trash talk, mais du coup je peux les trash talk un peu aussi.
There were Greeks living and worshipping here before the Romans arrived. Which begs the interesting question, who really built this place? And could it be far off? If only there was a way we could talk to the people. You mean the Great Temple? Given the way it's positioned so prominently, looking down on us. Unfortunately, someone else went out. You see, usually a temple is dedicated to a particular god, like Proserpina or Diana or Apollo. There's an obelisk out the front, which probably used to bear the name of this unknown god. And of course we can't get inside because it's locked up tighter than the Temple of Saturn in Rome. And that so we're all left wondering, which god is that temple unless somebody figures out a way inside.
Okay.
Of course. You wouldn't believe how often the new ones ask that question. There are much worse places to live out your days. But once you get used to the fear, knowing that a single slip-up could cost you everything, it's not... Oh, I just mean I grew up in the Batavi tribe, far to the north in Noviomagus. They weren't nearly as tolerant as the... Look, I haven't done anything wrong, if that's what you're thinking. Somebody just has a problem with my... Hey, nothing gets by you. Sorry, that was mean. And when you grow up in the north, as I did, in the city of Noviomagus, I saw enough friends killed or driven away to know the cost of not... So I hid who I was for... What was it? Nearly 10 years. But that kind of fear eats away at you slowly, until living isn't any better. Needless to say, since I'm now living underground, halfway across, my openness didn't go down well among the enlightened. Nice of you to... In any case, the Romans are far more... Or at least I saw... it's not just graffiti. The strange thing is, I keep my personal... I've never really been interested in any of the men here. Not my type. So if I had to guess, I'd say... Strange bunch. They insist there's only one god, and that he consider... If there are any of them here, they won't admit it. All I know is, if these threats keep escalating, eventually... What? Really? I'm glad you arrived when you did. I'd start by figuring out who the cultists are. Or maybe ask someone who lives or works in the forum. But if you find them, please don't hurt or humiliate. Come back.
Yep, ok. Bon, fouillons un peu ça aussi. Donc plus Morvan, elle semble étrange sans bigorne, et ça doit être le fruit d'une innovation récente. Un soufflet utilisé pour souffler de l'air dans le fourneau afin d'attiser le feu. Une petite pelle. romaine en bronze. Elle sent la cendre. Par contre, je parle pas beaucoup, je suis désolé Fabrice, mais du coup, comme j'essaie de suivre, de lire, de faire un peu... Ah, il y en a qui ont pété le lit, il y en a qui se sont amusés. Un mot insinuant que Verdil est un pêcheur. Verdil! Il ne vous voit peut-être pas, mais sachez ceci, je vous vois. D'accord. Ah oui, d'autres. Vous voulez vraiment être responsable du péché qui nous anéantira tous? Ah ouais, ah ouais. Je sais que vous êtes ce que vous voulez abandonner... Attends. Je sais ce que vous êtes et ce que vous voulez. Abandonner cette voie avant que vos péchés nous condamnent tous à d'atroces souffrances. Ah ouais, et remontez le mec. Hein. C'est contre nature. Quelle mission qui met... Une teinture pour vêtements. Elle semble avoir été extraite à partir de plantes et d'insectes. Ok. J'ai l'œil qui fatigue un peu là.
Greetings and salutations.
Tiens-toi avant que Jacqueline elle meure là.
Greetings, I'm Georgius. And I must say, my leather boots in place of sandals, trousers with precise stitching. I have traveled distant trade routes from the market, and never have I seen anyone dressed quite like you. And now you have me more intrigued than before. But since it appears we will have much time here to get to know one another. This is troubling, is it not? But my young friend Fabia confided in me that she saw someone living. That, my friend, is quite the delay. I do not enjoy the thought of another visit from Domit. Nothing. Ah, yes. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. Have you not heard the tale of the god Hades? He was the first to learn this dreadful lesson. When Demeter, the mother of Persephone, learned of, instead, she changed the climate of Earth, so that it became hot and dry. Nothing grew. Innocent people died by the tens of thousands. So yes, we know this rule. This has always been the case. If we are to survive, I say we must each heed the simple wisdom of Thales. Avoid doing what it does. For even if 99% of us adopt this principle, that will never be enough. Sadly, no matter how well we protect ourselves, the life's work of many good people can be... Ah, the voice of experience. But on a lighter. For all their grim and haunting poses, these golden statues do make magnificent models for my clothing. Do they not? I must ask, have you not been to... Oh, then I suppose the... Aha, you are witty. Of course, the first question any of us asks when we... And scaling the chasm wall is out of the question. But as they say, if the wind fails, use the oars. And here the second option is to leave the way we came in, through the shaft. See, the shaft is quite high. But if one gathered up enough wood, one could... They have. There was an attempt. They even decided to keep records of their escape attempt for posterity. And they heard a godlike voice shake the entire city. So it seems that to merely attempt escape is to invite the wrath of whichever god oversees this place.
D'accord.
My story? How kind of... A good question. I remember I had just been to Rome to sell an extraordinary... I rented a prestigious villa by the Tiber, and we began making our way through some of them. Now, I have had visions and awoken in strange places before. I have even... This time, I remember people screaming, then falling into a void. When I regained my faculties, I was lying naked by the banks of the Tiber. God's... Indeed. I'm lucky I was carrying a little extra weight.
Il avait la bouée intégrée.
Kept me afloat. In any case, it seems I'd been rescued and resuscitated by a benevolent. I went to find firewood for his campfire, stumbled across a cave, and discovered. You mean to say, with all the turmoil and terror of the Golden Rule, and so few customers, why? I'll tell you, it is precisely because of the gold. I say, the more of our customs we preserve down here, the more we can preserve a semblance of normality, the better.
Mais il a pas tort.
If we all end up as golden statues for future generations to marvel at, I don't know about you.
J'aime bien le genre.
I
J'aime bien le Georgius. Toi qui a essayé de tabasser des statues tout à l'heure.
Can't talk long. Got to stay sharp, but family.
Ouais, c'est ça, au moins il reste un peu positif quoi.
Babylon province. But I've been roaming a long time now. Even joined the Legion.
Je vais peut-être commencer à... Ah, c'est ouvert ici. Lucretia. J'ai pas fini mon tour. Je suis en train d'accumuler tous les trucs à l'infini. Et faudrait peut-être que... Ah, bah Lucretia c'était elle. Peut-être que je termine un petit peu quelques indices. Ou que je commence à... Je sais pas.
Can't you see this woman is dying? She needs the resin of a plant called Sylphium, but that It's too late. She was poisoned. She came in here frothing at the mouth. Normally and I knew Decius had some at his market stall, right around the... That'll be 1,000 denarii. Then that toad shrugs and says, supply and demand. Anywhere else, I'd just pay a thug to steal it from his stall. But there's no way I can do that down here. So all I could do is come back here. And now I'll never know who poisoned her. Or how they managed to do it without breaking the golden rule. Or why she cursed that snake's cruel black eyes with her dying breath. Well, unless you have the power to bring someone back from the dead, get me that Sylphium resin. I'm going to have another patient in here soon. Could be in the next day. I don't care how you get it, but you have to make it happen. Because if I swear to the gods below, not even the golden rule will stop me from marching up to that Genetricum Fututo and scratching his eyes out. Well, come.
Aller choper aller choper la résine, on va partir en courant. Et on va lui redonner dans le passé. Petit moulin. Secundus et Citera sont restés ensemble jusqu'à la fin. C'est quoi? Ouais. Bonjour toi.
Salve, stranger, and welcome to our idyllic. Terrible shame what happened to Yulia. Certainly. All I ask. Oh, it's perfectly legal. Simply a question of supply and demand, I'm afraid. Take it or leave it. Hear what? You sure you're feeling all right? She claimed the statues were whispering to her. Nobody else could hear it.
Oh non, c'est
Then she shut herself in the palace and we never heard from her again. But I digress. That's hardly my concern. But if you get a job... Well, if you did that, you'd break the golden rule. Do you think I don't know a bluff when I see one? Very well. Malleolus. I mean, Sentius couldn't even keep... I don't, I'm afraid. But I did... She was headed to the baths, not... It's terrible for inflation is what it is. There's so much gold just lying. Of course, I have an idea for generating real wealth. I've scoured this city from top to bottom with no luck. But if you happen to... Oh, well, technically yes. No need to decide on anything yet. I'm afraid some people here are a little shady.
Oh.
Oh yeah, gotta watch out. You mean how did I end up here? Alright. Well, you see, I'm in the business of procuring mostly sculptures, vases, the occasional slave. Had myself a nice little shop in Rome, just off the Forum. Lots of foot traffic and close to the... See, about 7 months ago, half of Rome caught on fire. Everyone who couldn't get to an app. So I gathered my coins and some priceless vases into a cart and had my most loyal slave girl all the way down to the river. I'm elbowing for a stampede of people, turning back now and then to make sure she hasn't legged it with my valuables. But, to my surprise, we make it. And I see this barge loading up, and it's so... But the captain's happy to take my coin. So I start boarding, and then he puts his hand on my chest and he says, "No, too heavy. The cart or the girl." So I...
Et il a évidemment choisi la charrette.
The girl? Weren't you listening? All my valuables or the girl? I mean, I can always buy a new slave girl if I still have my money. So I put my hand on the cart, and I guess she realised what was happening because those pretty black... And in one swift motion, she topples a whole... Naturally, I dived in after it, hoping to salvage my fortune. Only, I guess I must have hit my head or something, because when I came to, I'd washed up on the river. I couldn't agree more. I mean, sure, I'd lost a few thousand denarii, but I've already... Look around you. There must be more gold in here than in the treasury of Rome. If I... Very well.
Bon. On va remettre dans mes statuts. Liste de courses. Chose à acheter après mon évasion. La villa sur l'Aventin à Rome, chariot à 2 chevaux, siège au Sénat, chariot à 4 chevaux, villa dans la baie de Naples, chariot à 10 chevaux, 12 jolis esclaves pâles, et bien en chair. Ah ouais, d'accord. C'est verrouillé. Ah, je peux même pas me servir. La résine de machin. Ah, moi je voulais me barrer, hein. Je voulais la prendre et partir en courant. Ici, fermé.
Ah, back again, I... So... Well... Don't you...
Ah, il est là-bas. Attention, c'est parti!
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
C'est pas grave, vous sentirez rien de toute façon. Wouhou! Aïe! J'ai pris une flèche dans les fesses. Aïe, j'ai pris une autre flèche dans les fesses. Ah. Hein? Je m'en vais. Attends. Non, reviens ici.
Ah, no. Well, I'm a farmer. Always have been. I grew up in a small village in Britannia. One day, when I was about 20, my father and I were in the top paddock. My father told me to run into the house for his axe, and so I did. But by the time I got back, he was bleeding. My mother died of a broken heart soon after. More raiding started before too long. We'd come outside in the morning to find animals missing, our stores pillaged. One night, when my sisters and I had nothing left to steal, I got my father's old axe, pulled the door open real quick, but there were more of them. I never saw how many, because the next thing, my home was reduced to ash. My sisters. Yeah, well, I wasn't the only one this happened to. It wasn't long before, unfortunately, there were just too many of them. And those of us, I spent a few years working for my new master, learning the Romans' ways. Romanized my name and tried to escape a couple of times, but they always found me. I'd probably still be there too, if it wasn't for the stampedes breaking out. Everybody was running down toward the river, screaming. I got swept up with them. The next thing I knew, some stranger was dragging me out of a river. That's what I thought too, for a while. See, I finally had my own farm again, safe from the grasping, until Sentius the Decurion demanded I hand over all my produce. It's for the good of us all, he says. Only he takes the best bits for himself, of course. He even told me if I refuse his demands, I'll break the golden rule. So, it turns out our dear old magistrate is no better than the... But don't you worry. Nemesis is waiting. And he'll get hit. Forget I... Thanks, friend. Anyway, that... Well, as much as I'd love to get out of here, the harvest's always more fruitful in another man's field. But Scintilla, Sentius' daughter, went missing a few weeks. If anyone knows for sure, it'll be her sister. Oh, I don't give it much, but I say, let's spend less time arguing. I can't see how I could vote for either candidate. Even I could do a better job.
Allez, vite, allons donner le... Quelle heure? Il est minuit 8. Alors, peut-être pas tarder à s'arrêter, hein. Qu'est-ce que ça mène, ça? Ok. Ok, le théâtre. Ah! Va falloir trouver le truc... Petit hôtel... chrétien, du coup. Petite église, petite chapelle. Tiens. L'antipoison.
What are you doing in here? She needs the resin of a plant called... What? Yulia? Yulia. Hopefully in a moment she should... That was extraordinary. How did you know she needed... Look. If you don't want to tell... That was like the gods hearing my... You just saved a person's life and you should be proud of yourself. She might even
Sauver la vie de
be able to
Lulia.
thank you herself in a few moments. And maybe she can tell us who poisoned her and who she met in the meantime.
Hop. Oula, il est en galère le truc. Ok.
I'm Lucretia, and I'm going to be straight with you. I'm not a physician. I'm tired and out of my depth and miserable all the time. My husband and I moved to Rome from Caesarea. He embraced
À la fin de cette boucle, je vais m'arrêter là du coup.
more than I would have liked, and turned into an awful philanderer. I would have divorced him and demanded the return of my dowry, but I knew he would sooner have me killed than give me my right. So I waited for the right time to take what was mine, and as he prepared to evacuate our villa, I gathered our most precious belongings, coins and gemstones. I could barely see for the smoke, and the streets were full of people. The next thing I remember, I was waking up on a... It's all right. Say what you will about this place. At least my fornicating husband will never find me. And while there's no shortage of snakes here, at least with the golden... Oh, this shrine was in use. A kind of strange to set up a clinic in that. But the god who inflicts a curse is also the only god who can undo it. So well, she used to run the clinic. She was a midwife, not a physician. Until she suddenly lost all interest in us. One day she told me she'd made some profound discovery about the golden star. This changes everything. The last time I saw her, The last time any of us, and then she shut herself in the palace. She's been gone so long now, we figure she's either dead or up to something so strange. But I really wish I could reach her, because that's the only hope I have of solving it. One of my patients is suffering from terrible rheumatism. His joints... I really shouldn't say. He wouldn't. He's become so irritable that the smallest things set him off. And I worry I just know Nevia would know how to treat him, assuming she's still alive. Thanks. I wish. Some people here need proper medical care, not that. Just don't get sick or injured here. I'll do my best. A city without sin might sound good on paper, but whoever dreamt it up did. But snakes like Decius will always find loopholes to exploit absolutely nothing. In some ways, we are worse off because... Oh no. Sorry, I don't mean to... There was one other person who... But that was Nevia. Well, she used to run the clinic. She was a midwife, not a physician. But she was the closest thing we had down until she suddenly lost all interest in us. This changes everything.
Bon, ça faudra qu'on aille la voir, hein. Mais ce sera la prochaine fois.
Any of us saw her. And then she shut herself in the past. She's been gone so long now, we figure she's either dead or up to something so... But I really wish I could reach her, because that one of my patients is suffering from terrible rheumatism. He's become... I just... Thank... Sure. How did you know that? Yes? Do you really want to know? I mean, if somebody poisoned her, then... Glad... That...
Bon, Lulia.
Oh, it's you. Was there something you wanted? As much as I'm grateful that you tried to help me, it's... The Golden Rule. That's the least of my worries. The gods may be... Please, just... Persistent as Nemesis, aren't you? All right. I'd been here about a week. When it... So when my new friend Aurelia offered me a secret way out, I would have done any... She was supposed to be my friend. I told her it would take me years to save up that much, so she suggested I take out a loan. I had to sign an agreement, saying I'd work off the debt over 30 years. I paid Aurelia, and she gave Hemlock.
Ah oui, d'accord.
Drink this, she said, and you'll be out of here in no time. She pointed to a sign on her tavern saying, "Let the buyer beware." Then she just looked at me. She immediately told Malleolus I'd tried to escape without paying. In fact, he just thanked her. Of course, I went to Sentius and begged for help, but he said the law was clear. I thought about resisting too. But Malleolus said if I didn't, he locked me in his villa. Confiscated everything I owned as collateral. His wife, Claudia, was just as bad. She said I'd be on my hands and knees, scrubbing the floor clean for hours, only for her to put... Those two took everything from me. My Hemlock. I just wanted it to be over, but it seems... I brought it on myself. I trusted one of the most callous human beings I've ever met. When I've recovered, I expect their thug Domitius will come for... Only this time, I won't be able... Honestly, it would have been better. I doubt it. It seems this is the... At least until someone breaks the Golden Rule. No, of course not. A lot. But it doesn't matter. He's in exactly the same position as I am. Malleolus, he's probably already thrown himself from the bluff. If so, I'd never be able to live with myself. I doubt you could make it up to the bluff. I don't know who you are, or why.
Hop, on va aller en haut de la falaise, mais d'abord je vais aller voir.
How'd you do?
Hop, on va aller voir par là. Donc, première à droite. Et encore à droite. D'accord. Là, ça m'évoque rien du tout, un petit poisson. Ok, c'est clic gauche pour voler. Ok. Disque de pierre, on va graver un poisson. Un poisson. Eh. Une bouteille de vin. Bon, j'ai vu personne qui me l'a demandé encore, mais... Ah, donc, il y a tout un petit labyrinthe de grottes ici, là. Il faudra peut-être du matos pour ça. Ah! Les ombres exsangues errent sans chair ni os. Livia, divination cryptique presque poétique. Celui est appelé Séjour du crime. Mystios, étendu sur 9 arpents, et offrait ses entrailles à lacérer. Toi, Tantale, tu ne saisis pas la moindre goutte d'eau, et l'arbre au-dessus de toi se dérobe à toi. Toi, Sisyphe, tu cherches à saisir un rocher. Bon, super. Super. Un autre. C'est la bouteille de vin, ouais. Ok. Clac, clac, clac. Si on descend ici, ça mène du coup à la ville. J'imagine à un moment donné, on va retourner sur... Ok, oui, je vois où on est.
You stay away from my money.
Aurélia. Ouais, j'ai pas encore regardé tout ça, donc je préférerais venir voir ça plus tard, ouais. Tu peux faire X, c'est vrai, pour voir les papillons. Si je lui dis que sa pote est en vie.
I can't believe this is how it ends.
Oh no. No. No, 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 no. Orpheus, what?
That's the...
What?
Why do you think?
Please.
I'm sorry, but I...
Please, help him. If he goes through with it, it could be the end for us.
I am out. Wherever you are. Scintilla, my love. I'm sorry.
Orpheus, no!
J'avais cette option tout à l'heure de bluffer? Non, bah tant pis.
And I...
Thank you. Thank you. I am delighted and deeply honored to have been elected
Tunnel de suicide. Le GIA et ses ravisseurs, malheureux, c'est que je veux dire, soyez maudits, le temps que vous laissez ceci, je serais morte, je préfère mourir plutôt que vous servir un jour de plus. Ok. Tout est vide. Ulpius. Ulpius est vraiment perdu, que tu veilles sur vous, sachez que je te... Ok. Jusque là. Petit pot d'encre. C'est à moi. Et c'est pas considéré comme du vol, ça.
I'm not supposed to talk. My marital affairs. I think a better question is, why am I have quite enough marriage trouble already. Preferably the way you came in. I think it's about to be broken. This is outrageous. Why?
Non, il n'y avait pas une autre. En vrai, il y a moyen de choper 2000 pièces ici, tu pars en courant et pouf. Tu files les pièces après.
Fearing simply to live and breathe because the tyrant Sentius told you it was forbidden. Yes, remember my first act. My first act as magistrate,
Laisse-toi le Michel là.
Leap into my villa from the balcony. That was either extremely reckless. Well, why have you risked life and limb?
Criminel.
I'm Malleolus, and if it wasn't for this interruption, I'd be practicing. I'm glad you asked. I'll finally these good people have suffered by declaring there's no such thing as the... Wait, don't tell me you fought... Nonsense! There's no way you can prove that. If it was real... I disagree. I'll be guided by what is best... What? Oh, I see what's happening here. Surely, you're not one of those people who believes everything you read. True, but I'm afraid not. I trust you.
Merci. Bon, sans moi, de toute façon, de la règle d'or. Bon. Ok, ça se fait. C'est un peu parce qu'il faudrait que j'arrête assez vite à la fin de cette boucle. Ouais. Ça j'ai vu, ça j'ai vu. Ici il n'y avait rien de spécial. Dans le trou là, il y avait un cadavre, mais du coup, il n'y a rien d'autre. Hein. Avec cette statue qui te regarde là. On va voir Lulia.
Ave.
Tiens, toi.
Interesting. I'm not sure why you're telling me. Yes, I suppose that could be something. What else?
On your best behavior, I trust?
Yes, I understand. What else? That's true. It's as I feared. Let me ask you this. Did you have... And did you... I see. Because I've seen her before. There's something I think...
What? Please, go and stop him and come...
Keeping an eye on things, Horatius?
Elle est toujours là? Tiens. Oui, elle a l'air de pleurer.
Oh. No. I did, but I'd been locked in Malleolus's villa for months before she went missing.
On va vraiment trouver un coin, une solution pour que l'autre il arrête de se suicider. Là, on va dire à l'autre de ne pas courir sous le truc là. Le jeu il a du mal des fois. Hein.
A man arrived in the bar. Are you...
What? All right, fine.
Ok.
Wonder how much one of these statues is.
Il y a environ 2400 possibilités pour finir la boucle.
Did you stop him?
Ah ouais, d'accord. Bon, bah écoute, tant pis, hein. On va pas encore réussir à l'arrêter. Oh. Simple recette pour faire du pain. Ok. Ouais, je vais l'arrêter, enfin je vais aller voir l'archer. Si ça réussit, tant mieux. Si ça réussit pas, bah, c'est la fin de la boucle et on s'arrête là. Et on recommencera du coup mardi. Parce que mardi, Tiffany elle est pas là. Oh. Ah! C'est la statue. D'accord, c'est le vieux temple du coup ça. Très bizarre de sortir une lampe torche du coup vu le contexte. Il faut un plectre pour en jouer. Sculpture grecque délabrée au besoin. Ok. Oh là, de ce jeu, il y a trop de trucs à faire. Hein. Triple dans tous les sens. Ouais, descendre. Non, je peux pas. Non plus. Hein? Il y a une ville sous la ville maintenant?
Ah, a visitor. Welcome. It's since. Tell me. Then perhaps the fates. I will tell you everything I know. But first, the one thing I long for above all else before I die is let us find out with this simple question. You have much. Then you should speak with your contemporaries in the city above. It is best if you come to this realization for yourself.
D'accord. Évidemment. On va revenir ici. On va revenir ici plus tard quand on aura bien plus avancé. Ok. Oh le méga temps de charge. Peut-être déplacer le jeu sur le SSD pour la prochaine fois.
Stop right there. Thank you for your...
On va le suivre, hein. Deuxième bâtiment. C'est ici? Bah non, mais c'est horrible. Ah non, c'est ici. Ah putain, mais oui! Quel FDP. Ah, c'est la petite punition pour Maéolius, là, pour tout ce qu'il fait. Ah, le petit indice au cas où, si tu trouves pas l'entrée du coup que j'ai trouvé pour te montrer qu'il y a des souterrains.
Let me know.
Ah, du coup, le temps
Fear is proof of a degenerate mind.
le temps continue, du coup.
What now?
I'm here for Malleolus. Who might you be?
The name's Domitius. You want to get to Malleolus? You go through me.
Then go through you, I shall.
Malleolus, you fat
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Ah, ça y est, il court. Oh, il court, il court, il court. Ta-ta-ta-la-la, ta-ta-ta-la-la, ta-ta-ta-la-la. Aïe! Flèche. Wouhou! Wouhou! Bunny hopping, là. Je crois que j'aille en bas tout à l'heure aussi. Hein. Ah! Bonjour. Droite, gauche, comme sur CS. Ah, bien, oui. Allez, adieu. Entre votre lampe torche et vos quoi? Allez, sauvegarder la partie. En tout cas, pour l'instant, c'est très très cool. On continuera ça mardi. Merci d'être resté du coup jusqu'au bout, Fabrice. Et j'essaierai cette fois de pas tout foirer comme sur... le retour de Bradine. Ça s'est pas bien passé. Sans blague. Oh, je me doutais que ça allait mal finir, mais j'avais pas pensé en fait sur le coup. Bref, la prochaine fois, on verra le mec se suicider sous le truc, quoi. Mais c'était rigolo. Du coup, merci d'être passé et du coup, à bientôt. Voilà. Et merci à tous ceux qui sont passés. S'il y a des gens qui sont passés, qui n'ont rien dit. On se retrouve mardi pour la suite, mardi soir. J'ai pas l'horaire spécifique, mais aux alentours de 21h, quoi, comme ce soir. Et des bisous.